Hello, hello. Hi. Welcome to the monthly edition of the career mapping session. We're just waiting for a few people to join us before we officially start. Hi, Ikechukwu. How are you doing? Hope you had a good day.
Hi, you had a
Hi.
good day. Good
Hi.
evening.
Good evening. Hope you had a good day. We're just waiting for a couple of people to join before we officially start.
Thank you.
Yeah. It looks like a couple of people are running a bit late because it's about 7 minutes after time. So we'll just have to get started and do a bit of introduction. The facilitator, Emmanuel Faith, is going to be here anytime soon. So I'll just like get the whole thing down and rolling. So just for introduction's sake, my name is Eunice. I've worked in communications and marketing for the past 5 years, and I'm currently transitioning into product management. But one passion of mine has been to see young people succeed. With the career mapping session and collaborating with experts in their field, I feel we have the opportunity to make a huge impact, especially where young people are. So let's take it about 5 years ago when I just started out my career. I was literally confused. I knew that I wanted to work in an embassy, but I didn't know if I had what it took to work there. So for like the first part of my career, I was so confused and did not really know what to do till I started to map my career. And that's what really this session is about. It's about creating a roadmap for yourself as to where you want to be in the future. So that's why we're here today. I have sent the agenda to the chat box so you can have an idea of what we're going to be talking about and what we're going to be doing. So for the first, which I'm currently doing, introduce ourselves. I don't know, a couple of people are not here. We had over 10 people register for this session. But a couple of people are not here, so but that's fine. We're going to meet our facilitator, Emmanuel Faith. He's running a bit late, like I shared earlier. Just to reiterate the session objectives, what we're really going to be doing here today is to answer questions that have been bothering you, career specifically. So yeah, just get your questions, write them down. I have a couple of questions some people asked, so I will ask them and they may in turn benefit you. Then we're going to be talking about choosing the right career path, your personality, your course of study, and global trends. Like, are these things important? Do we need to put them into consideration while choosing a career path? Then we're going to have like an interactive discussion with you asking your question and the expert in residence, which is Emmanuel Faith, who will be answering. Then the essential skills for every career. I remember coming into my career a couple of years ago, and I realized that there were certain skills that I needed to move ahead, especially with the company or the people that I was working with, but I didn't have them at the time. And now that I have them, I see how instrumental they are, or how instrumental having those skills are important to building a good career. So we already have Emmanuel Faith here. Hi, Emmanuel. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate you. Like I said earlier, Emmanuel is a renowned HR professional. Emmanuel, please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Okay, great. I can hear you. So, like, Emmanuel is a renowned HR professional. I'm sure you have seen the HR body somewhere, and we have him here with us today. He's going to give us career insights from a human resources perspective, which I believe is very important because if you want to get a job, you definitely need a HR person to bring you on board. So, without further ado, I will just mention some housekeeping rules. I'll ask that you make sure that you're muted during the duration of the facilitator's session. And if you have any questions whatsoever, you can just type them in the comments in the chat box, and those questions will be answered during the session. Um, if you have anything, you can if you have any questions or any concerns, you can private chat me. And without further ado, let's get into this session. Emmanuel Faith, over to you, please.
Hi everyone, I'm super delighted to be here. I would switch on my video in a bit. Hi. Do we all agree that January is fast? Do we think that this year's January is fast? I've seen some people say that this year's January is fast. Is that
I
true?
think it's pretty fast. Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm not tracking the dates because like the days are just normal days for me. Like things are just happening. So I just look up and say, oh my God, it's 10th already. Okay. And someone said fast, fast. Really? Great, great, great. Okay, so Eunice, just to confirm, am I supposed to talk through the first talking point, or are you sort of going to ask me questions and stuff? Is this where I'm supposed to
Okay,
introduce
yeah.
myself?
Yes, I will ask you questions. I just wanted you to maybe introduce yourself
Okay, great, great,
or
great, great. Yeah, I just wanted to
talk
confirm
and
that.
just
Yeah.
like let people have a feel of Emmanuel Faith before we dive into the
Oh, really? A feel of me, man. I'm very discoordinated right now, but yeah. Hi, everyone. This is me. My name is Emmanuel Faith. My first name is Faith, actually. I'm one of those people that. How many of us attended Ian for secondary school? You know, or Ajanle Coco High School, right? So apparently, I didn't know that, the normal, what's the word now? Nomenclature is first name, surname. So throughout secondary school, people called me Emmanuel Faith, and it was sweet. And then going to university, people called me Emmanuel Faith too, and it was sweet. And then I think it was my first internship post-graduation. I worked with a tax firm, and then that very tall guy, his name is Bidemi Lumide, walks in and say, "Hey, who are you?" And I say, "Oh, I'm an intern." He said, "Oh, an intern where?" I said, "An intern in this company." He said, "Oh, that's right. I'm the owner of the company and I don't know you and I'm not aware we have an intern. What's your name?" And I say, "My name is Emmanuel Faith." And he says, "What's your first name?" And I say, "My first name is Faith." And he just looks at my associates. That's the person I'm working with, and says, "Where did you find these people? What school is it from?" I think that will rank as one of the top 10 most embarrassing moments of my career, right? Yes, so in an official setting, I try to, immediately I say my name is Emmanuel Faith, I just let them know my first name is Faith. And then if you have a name like mine and you want to clarify, you can just put a comma in front of the Emmanuel, so they would know that Emmanuel is your surname and then Faith is your name. What do? I make people happy and productive, and I talk to people when people like Eunice drag me. Um, when I'm not doing HR, I am I mean, I don't know if Eunice did an introduction of my profile or something. I have about 10 years experience in HR. I've worked with all the biggest names out there as far as Nigeria is concerned. I've worked with Wise. I've worked with Big Carbon Media. Who else is there? I'm currently working with Afi Change. I've worked with General Electric, all in lead HR roles. By the side, I run two initiatives: Luminous Consult, focused on career consulting, and HR Clinic, focused on HR consulting. Well, when I'm not doing all those very, very, very serious things, which is like 10% of my life, to be honest, I am watching women football actively, right? I love women football. I'm passionate about women football. Or I am binge watching K-drama. So if you're here, you're a K-drama fan.
Hey, K-drama.
Yeah,
We
automatically
love
my
where
fan.
K-drama stands over here.
Oh, hi, I see you. Yeah, so that's sort of me
안녕하세요. Yeah.
in a nutshell. Thank you very much.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you so much for that warm introduction, Emmanuel. So we're just going to get right into it. So first things on our agenda, like when people come into my DM on TikTok, it's more or less like, oh, in fact, like the most questions that I got in the event catalog was, how do I know the career that is best for me? And we have a couple of questions coming up, but that's like the idea of, what this particular session is going to cover. So choosing the right career path, like personality, course of study, global trends, how do these things shape, or how should they shape one's choice of career? Like, should I go for something my personality is much more comfortable doing? Should my course of study determine the line of career that I should take? Should what's happening in the world right now determine what I should eventually take? For example, we have AI everywhere. There's a talk of AI agents. There's a talk of many things that have to do with AI, computing cloud, all of these things. So how best or how far should these elements or these factors define choosing a career, especially for someone who just finished from university or someone trying to like make transitions?
Interesting way to kick off. And I like to start with the fact that money is important too. That's why I like to start with. I mean, interestingly, I have a video on how to choose a career path, and maybe I'll just share it along the line. So yeah, you've mentioned a lot of factors, and it's a combination of a lot of things. And let me just quickly debunk something. We all do not have to go into HR. You don't have to go into HR, so please run away from HR. Thank you. Yeah, but that's not what I wanted to say. We all do not have to go into Web3 and tech. The joke I always make is that, hey, my tailor does not know the person that made this clothes. This clothes is about 4 years old now. I got it 2021 and it's still as good as ever. My tailor does not know what tech is. All she does is make good clothes and charge premium money for it, right? The person that makes my shoes does not know what tech is. I mean, the person probably knows about marketing and branding because the person has now upgraded in how he's positioned his product. But what I'm trying to say is that you do not have to follow the trends. And like, it's very important. I don't know why I'm starting from that. I don't know who that is for, but you absolutely do not have to follow the trend. Now, having established that fact, starting a career is a lot of things. And if you're here, one thing I like to do, please let me know. I like to get the sense of the audience I'm speaking with. So if you just finished school, like if you're 1 to 2 years postgrad, just type B. B is for beginner. If you have like 2 to 5 years experience, type M. M is for mid-level. And if you have 5 years and above, type E. E is for expertise. Right. So if you're a beginner, I am always advising that you should not be picky about your career. And the reason is very simple. There is a book called So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport. It's one of my favorite books of all time. And it talks about something called career capital. And the definition of career capital is literally that as you begin your career, you build a lot of capital along the line. And so 5 years into your career, you might have done 4 different things that align with your purposes and interests, and I will get there. But by the time you are mid-level, you are able to garner all those things together. So I'm speaking in parables, so let me speak in English. Say, another thing I need you guys to do, for those that are choosing B, especially, please tell me your background. So if you studied economics, type economics. If you studied accounting, type accounting, etc., etc. So I'm going to start with myself. So say I studied economics, right? I graduated from Buffalo University and I'm looking for a job. I do not have money, and I do not have connects. I don't have people in Abuja. So the first thing I want to do is, the first thing that came my way was a content writing job, for instance, not accounting, not finance, a content writing job. I can say, oh, I don't want to do content writing. I want to do accounting. I want to work in KPMG and PwC. Or I can pick up that content writing and own my writing skill. And 6 months down the line, I get a graduate internship at UBA or GTB or one of these companies that do graduate training. Now, because I've done content writing for 6 months, by the time I'm entering that graduate training, I'm probably better than every other economics or finance people, or at least I have this distinguishing factor, because not only do I know economics, I'm also a good writer. And so when I'm writing an investment report, my content writing skills come to life. When we are doing presentation, my content writing skills come to life, right? So I like you to, at the beginning of your career, explore as much as possible. Now, having established that, 3 things to consider when choosing a career path. Number 1, like I told you, I am beginning to like money. So what is the financial viability and sustainability? So this career that I am about to start, how much money can I make from it? And like, we don't have to, see, I don't want to be Dangote. In fact, when people pray for me and say, Wallo be Dangote, it means that you have money like Dangote. I don't say amen because I don't think that I can have money like Dangote. Well, if I marry one of his daughters, maybe, but I do not think that I would have money like Dangote. So I'm not saying, pick a career that will pay you like $1 million or $3 billion, as the case may be. But what is the financial variability? So if I start a career in customer service, for instance, what is the top? What is the pinnacle of customer service? And at that pinnacle, what do they earn? What's the career opportunity? Versus if I start my career as a product manager, can I start my career as a customer service experience and move to product manager later? Right. So that's one. Second is, what are the career opportunities, which I sort of feel like I've touched on. So for instance, I used to make a joke. If you are a prosthetic and orthotics person in Nigeria, you're amazing. That's a very, very, very unique field to be. But if I were you, Ikechukwu, and you were my younger brother, I'm probably thinking about how I will connect you to like Ministry of Sports, or I will connect you to NBBF, that's National Basketball something Federation of Nigeria, or how to connect you to Sporting Lagos, for instance, right? Because if you're not connecting to either MDAs, that's what the full meaning of MDA again, someone the check, Ministry Development and Agency, and you're not connecting to private, organizations, my brother, when I go suffer for this country. Do you get? So what's the career opportunity, right? And then the last one is literally the one that people put first. What am I interested in? What is my purpose? What are the skills I have? I promise you, it is not number one or number two. It's probably not number three itself, right? Because, and the reason why it's not number one or number two or three is sometimes when you see how lucrative something is, you will develop the skills. The interest will come, right? So it's first, what's the financial viability? Except you're a trust fund babe, how much money can you make from this? Secondly, what's the career sustainability? What are the career opportunities? If you know that you'll be in Nigeria for like the next 3-4 years, what are the career opportunities? Even if you're traveling abroad, globally, what is the global demand for this field that you are in? And then the last is now, what are your interests? What comes to you easily? What can you aggregate together, to align your career with? I've talked a lot and I know I have like plenty of questions. I'm going to stop.
Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you so much. When you were speaking about how interests should come last, I just remembered how not waste, because you also mentioned an important thing of how you build capital throughout your career. I remember my first job straight out of a history and strategic research school was in the bank, and I did not like bank job. In fact, I swore on my life I was never going to go back to the bank. But in retrospect, I've realized, I've seen some skills. Like, if you check my LinkedIn profile, I put generalist there because even at this point in my career, I can't really specifically say I want to focus on something, because it's like I've done everything. Like, I have had experience in every, and it has really helped me, even in taking on side projects. We love money over here, because I will not pretend to say I do not like money. Oh, I love money. I love it. Very good. And I just really like how you put everything into perspective. So, guys, like, let's take note of what he said. So, on to the next question. I've been taking, I took a course, I did a program with McKinsey, that's the Forward program. And I really, they really talked about communication, adaptability, digital literacy as the skills of the future. And as we move over to an AI-centered world where innovation is, rapidly increasing, and people think that AI is going to take their jobs, how are these skills, how can these skills set you apart, even in a world where automation is like the next big thing? So, yeah. And I really like you to give examples of, yeah. Right.
Okay, great. If you think AI is going to take your job, type Y. That's yes. If you think AI is not going to take your job, type N. That's no. Me, I know AI is not going to take my job, so I'm going to type N. Let me see people's responses while I attempt to answer your question. So yeah, by the way, I took forward. I didn't finish the advanced level, but I thought at the beginning was very good. I attempted the advanced twice. I don't know, for some reason I just never did finish it. Yeah. So if you're here, I think that you should take the forward program if you have not taken it. Yes, communication. What's the second? Adaptability, and then just No, they actually
Digital literacy.
digital literacy and adaptability. I mean, we're here because we are digitally literate. And I want you to know, guys, that these simple things that you think you know, do not take them for granted. I speak to people and I'm like, oh, book a time on my calendar. What am I saying? I like last month, I still walked someone through how to book a time on my calendar. I'm not joking. This person is a graduate of a reputable, relatively reputable state university in Nigeria. And the person did not know how to use Google Meet. No jokes. So when you hear digital literacy, don't think that it is abstract. It's actually as minor as how to use Zoom, how to use Google Meet, how to use Calendly to book a time on someone's calendar, you see all these tools, how to use Jira, how to use Slack, how to use Discord, those minor things are actually digital literacy. So I took time to explain that so that when you hear digital literacy, you do not think about something abstract. It's actually as minor as how can I use Google Meet to book a time on someone's calendar. That's one part. I think the other part is the part of AI, taking our job. I absolutely believe that AI cannot take away my job. My brother made a joke one day. So he asked AI, my brother is a poet, a creative writer. So he said, oh, AI, write me a poem about this. And AI sent the prompt. And he was like, don't worry, my job is safe. Because he was so sure that a machine wrote the poem. He didn't have any human feeling. But yeah, I think that every time I have to talk about technology, and I will come back to adaptability and then communication and wrap up, I talk about the fact that we need to see these things as a tool, as a propeller, as an enhancing, an enhancing element, to increase our productivity. We do not need to see them as competition. And I used to give this practical illustration. 10 years ago, there was typewriter, right? And then typewriter vanished. Now, there are two kind of people that use typewriter. Those that, as typewriter was vanishing, they're like, let me buy Dell laptop at BHP, and immediately started learning typing on a laptop. And the people that said, now that typewriter is going, what will we do now? And you can see the difference between the two of them. Those that moved from typewriter to using laptop are those people that help you type your project in school, right? And those that didn't move with the wave are probably people that are now selling something on the streets, or they might even have retired. So it is, now there is this new wave. What do I need to know about it? And how can I optimize it to make my work better? So that's from the AI perspective. Adaptability is a continuous tense. I think that you will continuously adapt. We didn't know that, well, don't let me say we did not know. But yeah, we did not know. We did not know that remote work is going to be mainstream until COVID happened. I'm very aware of like 2 or 3 or 4 companies that, they've been trying to, hey, people don't have to come to the office 5 days a week. Can they come 3 days a week? People don't have to come to the office 4 days a week. Can they come 2 days a week before COVID? And so by the time COVID happened, at 2 days, like they will say my language, and 2 days, and 3 days, everybody had to sit their bum at home. And so the question is now, how fast, can you adapt, right? We don't know what will come tomorrow. Right now, but I've championed a lot of like economic changes in different organizations. People now use standing table to work in the office, right? There are companies that buy their staff standing table at home. And there are some people that still find it bizarre. What do you mean that your company bought you a standing table? You say yes now, because sitting down for too long is affecting your back. What do you mean? People struggle to adapt to like very minor things like that. Some companies say, oh, we are no more using Google Meet. We are now a Microsoft company. And then people struggle to move from Google to Microsoft Teams. Some people say, oh, we are now moving from Microsoft to Google. And then you see that people genuinely struggle to move from Google Sheets to Microsoft Excel, right? So I think that as far as your career is concerned, adaptability is a continuous tense. So you have to be always open to learning, always. And communication, man, my dear brothers and sisters, we are going to keep learning how to communicate. Both written, I think I have a YouTube video. Is it out yet? I don't know if it's out yet. I spent like 15 minutes talking on written communication at work, guys. Just written. I'm not even talking about verbal. I'm not talking about public speaking. Just how to write at work. So I think that as a career professional, you should definitely take out remarkable time to improve your written skills, your verbal skills, how you express, how you use colloquialism, where it's necessary, things like that. They're very important.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So moving on to preparing for success. And I like to think of this part as when you tell us to go, do this, do that, go, so that everybody lives here with
It's an
something
action
that they
point.
need to do.
Yeah.
So I know people are talking about networking, learning platforms, and crafting your CV. Okay. People think that they need to like network with big people. People, they feel like they need to talk to someone, they need to have a connect, that can put them in that place. But I really like you to share what's an actionable step for somebody who doesn't know anybody to start today, someone who doesn't even have access to like maybe Coursera's premium or a write or money to even write your resume. So like just the basic stuff. And as for downloadable checklist, you guys, everyone will get a goodie bag after this session. It will include all of the essential videos Emmanuel Faith has on his and some books that I think will help you. So let's get what we need to do, because as we're living here, I want to start networking in a way that is beneficial to me. I don't know to Melu, but I'm sure that there are some people that I can talk to, right? And I really like you to expand and give us actionable tips to,
Okay.
move.
Everybody say thank you, Eunice. Yes, I was just excited. I was thinking of like a YouTube video in my head, and when she said she's going to check my channel, I'm like, yeah, thank you. So I released a YouTube video this week, right? I just talked about, 4 important things you should note as you start your career, as you start the year 2025 career-wise. And that is the acronym that I typed. I talked about knowledge, skills, ability, and the last one was connections and community. So I'm going to talk about connections and community. People always think about networking, like you said, networking upwards, right? And I think that people overlook a lot of lateral, and vertical networking. Your next job might come from someone on your WhatsApp broadcast list. I'm not even joking. What do you post on your WhatsApp status? Let's start from that. That's the most basic thing. What do you use your WhatsApp status to do? Do you post memes? Or do you post Davido versus Wizkid? You are the one that know when Chloe Bailey came to Nigeria, when Chloe Bailey left, right? I think that we underestimate how much of resources exist around us. And I'm talking about myself too. Sometimes I post something on my status updates, and someone within my like WhatsApp community responds. I'm like, you work here? You mean you work here? You've been in my WhatsApp since? I remember one time I did a career consult for someone, and the person was trying to get into product management. And I said, oh, do you know what? I need a product manager in a senior finance company in Nigeria. And 5 people sent me a DM, head of product, head of product, head of product. I'm like, you are right here in my network, and I've been looking around, right? So the first question is, what do you want people to know about you? So it's not always networking. The rule of networking is be interested in other people and be an interesting person yourself. And I feel like a lot of times we focus on being interested in other people. We forget that sometimes just being an interesting person and all the good things, all the people, I think I tweeted one time that all the people you want to meet are looking to meet you too.
Mm.
And people are like,
That's a bar. That's a bar.
yeah. All
That's
the
a
people you are looking to meet are looking to meet you too. You just have to do the work that will bring them to you. So you are here, you are a finance person. I don't know what you guys do. You are a baker, you are a cinematographer, you are a content writer. What kind of person are you even building before we even start about networking? What kind of value? So when you connect with me after this call now, what value are you going to bring to me? Right. So I think that the first takeaway from this, because you said action points is number one, what do you want people to think about you this year? Think about it. When I say Pelumi Ogunade, what do I want people to say? Do I want people to say Pelumi is a badass creative writer? I can do anything with words. Do I want people to say, Pelumi can write code, Django, Java, everything, Kotlin. He or she writes like 7 languages, right? What do you want people to say about you? And a quick way to do a pulse check for that is go to your WhatsApp status after this call and ask, what kind of opportunities will you recommend me for? And see what people will say. And then if that does not align with the kind of opportunities you are looking for, then that sends you a message, right? So before we even talk about networking with other people, what value are you building? How are you positioning yourself? What skills are you developing? What knowledge are you putting out there? How are you making yourself an interesting person? Because when you're an interesting person, all the people that you're looking to network with would be interested in you. So that's a straight one. Other things I want to talk about, I want to talk about like doing a knowledge gap analysis. From where you are to where you want to get to. What is the gap, right? I'll just share this tip and I'll move on. But something I know I used to do when I started my career, and I think I still did it like 2 years ago. Say I want to be my career goal, and when I'm teaching, it's because this is not like a teaching class. When I'm teaching, one of the questions I ask people first is, so what's your biggest career goal, right? So one of my big career goal is to work at Netflix as employer brand manager or to be a CHRO at a company in Silicon Valley. So I go to Silicon Valley on LinkedIn. I look for the top companies in Silicon Valley. I look for CHRO. CHRO, by the way, means Chief Human Resource Officer. And I look at which school did they go? What course did they do? What certification did they embark on? And I say, okay, so which of this can I do right now? Which of this can I do in 1 year? And that's how I would want you to approach your career. So you want to be the best product manager, or sorry, I work in tech, guys. You want to be the best, orthopedic surgeon or something. What are the best orthopedic surgeons? Where did they go? What do they do? What courses did they take? What events, guys? What conferences do they attend? I once paid $125. For context, I was earning like 300K then. And I paid $125, which was about 195K or 205, because I wanted to attend a conference that some caliber of people that wanted to be like were attending. Right. So sometimes it's not even just courses or anything. It is the people that you want to mirror their career. What are they doing right now that you can do a similitude of? Think about it.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I want to ask a question that I think a couple of people may really, although it's not here, is I studied a particular course in school, but I don't want to study. I don't want to do it now for maybe the fact that there's no money in the course or I barely even scaled through. So, what would your actionable step be for that person in crafting their career map? Yeah.
Okay, so straight up question, 3 things. Now you don't want to do what you studied in school. What do you want to do? Number one. Okay, so let me be as fast as possible because I studied economics and then I moved into HR. So what do you want to do? What is the fastest way to get into what you want to do? So you study microbiology, you want to do product management. What is the fastest way to get into product management? Do you need to take a course with Trefort? Do you need to watch one video every day for 30 days or for 60 days in product management? Do you need to join a product management community? There are plenty of them, right? Then the third one is, what is the fastest way to get an opportunity? Trust me, an opportunity could be a volunteering opportunity. An opportunity could be an internship. Yeah, finally, I can use a career that is exciting. You want to be a data analyst. You studied microbiology. Now you want to be a data analyst. Step number one, are you good in Excel? Can you use Microsoft Excel very well? Yes, you can. Number two, which one do you want to learn? Do you want to learn Power BI or do you want to learn SQL? Or do you want to learn both if you have the ability to learn both? Number three, where are the community of data analysts? There is women in data, there is data analysts for beginners, there is that, like, off my head, there are like 4 Twitter communities that are just focused on data. Join one of them. There's just a lot of advantages of joining communities because like there's just a lot of resources. I was asking my friend posted something and I replied, say, where do people used to find things like this? And he was like, it's not hard work, they just join communities. There's a way that just being in communities just expose you to resources that you did not even know existed, right? So if you join communities, then what's the fastest way to get in? For example, if you're a data analyst, you don't even need someone to give you a job. Why? There's a lot of data out there. There is data about Obi and what's his name again? Sorry, I used to forget the name of our president. Tinubu. Yeah, how many times was APC mentioned we've entered New Year now? How many times was as APC be mentioned? Do a data about it. How many times was LP mentioned? Do a data do analysis about it. You love football. Osimhen versus Jackson. How many times has Osimhen versus Jackson been mentioned? do a data analysis about it, and tag all the sports influencer you know. You know, like it's exciting that we are in the 21st century world. Like you literally, like I'm always randomly thinking about how do people like do things 30 years ago? Because now you can just put value out there for a fee or for free, and it will get to places that I do not imagine, right? Yeah, so that would be my 4 guide step. Number 1, find that thing you want to do. Number 2, build a structure. I call it a transition plan. Don't think that you're going to jump into it. You will not jump into it. You're a beginner. So you have to say, am I going to be a product manager intern in 3 months or in 6 months or in 1 year or in 2 months? Because that would then determine the intensity of effort you want to put in. Number 3 is join community. I can never not support joining community. Join community. Then number 4, put value out there, and then people will look for you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. If you have any questions now, this is the best time to put them in the comments so that we can, ask Emmanuel Faith. I have some questions here that I would like to read. Just a couple of minutes. Okay, so we have one person that says she's fresh out of university, but she's confused about what to do. And I know that you mentioned a couple of things that I know that, the structure, but I get that structure sometimes, may speak to the logical aspect of how we should address a problem. So how about we come from an emotional, perspective, because people know what to do, actually. People really know what to do, but they just need some a little push here and there, and please give us that push.
You can see I'm doing my hand. Wait, I am not the motivational speaker. I'm sorry. Oh no, so this is the thing. This is why I tell people that genuinely struggle. And like I'm telling myself right now, I'm doing a couple applications, and I've been in the last 96 hours, I've not had up to 12 hours of sleep. And like I'm not bragging, guy. In the last 48 hours, I've not slept for 6 hours. And like I'm here with you guys. And if I do not tell you, you will not know. And after this meeting, I'm not eating today. After this meeting, I will go and warm my food and eat, and I will continue my applications. I think that success is an option, right? And one thing I've noticed is that people do not want to put in the work. And like it is sad because I'm sorry, if you're born as a Nigerian and your father is not Dangote and your mother is not $10, Mrs. $10, you are automatically disadvantaged. I don't know how to explain it better than that. Like you are disadvantaged. Now, that doesn't, like I'm saying, like a prophet of doom, but I'm not a prophet of doom, because as much as you are disadvantaged, there are also like opportunities out there waiting for you. Literally, I was having a call with an admission officer of a school in France yesterday, and I just started with speaking French, and then she was like, "Oh, s'il vous plaît, please apply." Like she was begging me because they want more Nigerians in France, right? But guess what? Even though she's begging me to apply, she's not going to beg me to write my GRE. She's not going to beg me to write my GMAT. She's not going to beg me to write winning essays. She's still going to collect her admission, or admission fees or whatever it is, right? So just when you think about the fact that to succeed requires some level of, and it's okay not to like success, I promise you. Remember when I said I don't want to be rich like $10? I don't want to. No, I just want to have the basic things, be able to, go to Italy to take gelato like DJ Copy, be able to say, Chelsea is playing in London. I want to fly to London too.
Yeah.
That's the money I want. Ashake is doing concert in Dubai. Oh yeah, let's go to Dubai. I don't need millions of dollars. Maybe I need $1 million, but I don't need millions of dollars, right? If you want to give me millions of dollars, I'll accept it. But yeah, I think that if you need motivation, this poverty sat me down on a Saturday morning. That's my own motivation. That every time I remember that I do not want to be poor. I want to wear those and Gabbana. I was teasing one of my favorite friends that, oh my God, imagine me ordering a Jimmy Choo shoes for you when you have this present. She has a presentation in Berlin in March. I'm like, oh, can you like imagine I just send you like a pair of Jimmy Choo? Like your confidence is going to rise. I want to buy my friends Jimmy Choo. I want to buy my friends LMVH, right? And that's my motivation. That's why I'm working. So I think that if you need, just find one thing. I know someone that his motivation is he doesn't want his children to go through what he went through. He doesn't want his children to be writing scholarship essays. He wants to be able to, he wants his children to wake up and say they want to go to Harvard and just say, take the school fees. They want to go to Oxford, take the school fees. They want to go to the School of Juilliard, take the school fees. And that's his only motivation. So I feel like you should just find one big thing. I have another friend, her name is Precious. A big deal is that she wants to host her friends, like she wants to have a birthday with her friends every year in a country of the choice, all expense paid. So she wants to be rich enough to say, all of you, we are going to Bali. Just bring your passports. That's all. And that's our motivation for working hard. So I think you should find just one big thing, that is like your big thing that keeps you going. And when you find it, hold on to it dearly, right? And that's the motivation I have for you. Let poverty or whatever it is sit you down.
Poverty has sat me down. Poverty sat me down on it. Yeah.
Yes.
So just to wrap everything up, most of the questions are repetitive. Okay.
So just one last thing. I also just want you to think that. Okay, so two things. Sorry, bullet points. Number one is I want you to know that your biggest possible dream is someone else's reality. I'll say that again. I want you to know that your biggest possible dream. So this dream is big. That's someone else's reality. And then the second one, I want you to know that there is so much more you can do if you put in the work. So I'll give just one illustration each on both. Now, one of my biggest goals, I mean, I've graduated with a 2-2, so I can't get in straight to like a place or Harvard or Oxford. But one of my biggest goals is to actually have a degree for my VD. That's like a big goal. Guess what? There are actually people who was born on the street of Oxford. Like they born them for Oxford. Their primary school was probably beside Oxford. Their secondary school, they probably went to do excursion in Oxford. And then automatically, their bachelors will be in Oxford. And for me, that's one of my biggest dreams, to go to Oxford, right? So what you think is a big dream is someone else's reality. That's number one. Number two is, like, there's so much more. So I have one of my mentees is in Canada now, Vancouver. He has been saying since 200 level that, I will never work with a Nigerian company. I will never work with a Nigerian company. Like 200 level, I was in 300 level. It was my director. Like people will say, where do you want to work? KPMG, PwC. I will never work with a Nigerian company. He did that is IT at Google. Is it Google? What's the name of the company that has an office in Ikoyi that they packed up recently? Was it Google or Microsoft?
Microsoft.
Yeah, he did his IT at Microsoft because that was his office. And that's the only time he has worked in a Nigerian company. For Microsoft, he got an offer from Google UK, he got an offer from Amazon, then he got an offer from Asana. 3 offers. But guess what? That 3 offers came out of 373 applications. So it meant that he got 370 rejections. And every time we have a career chat, what he used to say is that imagine that he gave up at number 369. And he didn't hit 370. It would not be in Asana today. Literally, like he has money. What is money to Israel? He has mad money. And like he's 2 years my junior colleague. Like, if I tell you what he bought for me for Christmas, like he flew, because he was bored, he flew 2 friends in, one from UK, one from US, and asked them to come and spend Christmas with him. Everything fully expense paid. So there's just so much more that you can do if you decide to stretch yourself better. So always think about the possibility of that and let that push you.
Amazing. Yeah. I know that we are lost for time, but just one question. How do you build capacity and courage to apply to other places when you feel it's time to leave? I'm assuming that this person is talking about their current job. So how do you know, how do you build capacity and courage to leave a job and apply to other places?
Oh, very good. So I studied economics. So there is something called sunk cost fallacy, right? So sunk cost is why some of you are still in an abusive relationship and you refuse to leave your ex. You're still going back to your ex, right? So we think about, oh, I put a lot of effort in this thing. I don't want to move to the next thing. But always think about the fact that it sounds inspirational, but it is not. Your best years are ahead of you, right? So it means that either you leave the job now, January 2025, or you leave the job by June 2025. You are going to leave. So why not leave in January and spend between January and June looking for a new job? Or maybe save up between January and March and leave by March, and then you spend time looking for a new job. Why not start brushing up your thank God we know we have Career Cafe here. Why not start brushing up your LinkedIn with Career Cafe? Why not start revamping your CV with Career Cafe? So that by March, when you finally, your mother's prayer and your first motivation have coagulated, your documents are ready. Because either you leave now, or you leave in March, or you leave in June, you're still going to leave, right? So let the possibility, one thing that drives me is, yeah, there's something better out there, right? It doesn't apply to relationships, but as far as career is concerned, there's something better out there. There's genuinely something better out there. And guess what? Like they say in my language, the people that are in it don't have two heads. Every time I see my friends in Switzerland or UK or US, I'm like, I'm smart too. These people do not have two heads, right? So one, there's something better out there. Two, the people that are in that better positions, yeah, some of them are long legs, some of them are connection, but some of them got there purely by their grit and tenacity and skills and abilities, and you can too. That should keep you going.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Our time is already fast spent, so we won't be taking more questions. But thank you so much, Emmanuel, for taking time out to bless us with your presence and give us these tips. In fact, me that has like over 5 years, see, poverty has really sat me down and told me a thing or two. So I will be implementing I love how the actionable steps are very easy and very, but it's really about your motivation. Do you know if these things are possible? If you believe they are possible, if you do the work, there's so much that you can do. There's so much you can achieve. So thank you so much, Emmanuel. Let everyone please put a round of applause for Emmanuel. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for taking time out here again. We're all going to be receiving a goodie bag after this event containing links to Emmanuel Faith's platform, his YouTube, his Instagram, and his Twitter and everything, so that you can just go there and binge off free knowledge. Okay? So I'm going to do that. And I have a couple of books to share that will help you, especially in the year. Because of time, we won't really go into specifics because I believe Emmanuel has said a couple of things, but I will see you in the emails that I will send after. So we're going to have to bring this first career mapping session to a close. I plan to do this monthly where I just bring in experts like Emmanuel Faith to just speak to young people and just share the reality of the job market and how people should map their careers, because it's really not just about getting that job. It's really about where you want to be and how you make plans, strategic plans to get there. Don't be the type of person that just allows life to happen to them. Yeah. You have the power to make life happen in the way that you want it to. So guys, thank you so much. There will be the recordings of the meeting will be available to everyone. And yes, with that, I will say goodbye. Good night, everyone, and have a lovely day.
Good night. Enjoy the weekend. Chase your career goals. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.